Happy Social Media Day. We got Dawn here, and we'll get to her in just 1 minute, and we'll be right back. Cindy Lee here. Ask Cindy Connector Live. So we have a very special episode today. I'll get to my guests in just 1 minute, and I'll just do a quick introduction on Ask Cindy Connector. I actually am working on my very first book, Growing Your Business Through Referrals. And I was prompted to do that by a Facebook friend of mine who attended my Facebook mastery. And he said, "You need to write a book, and I'm going to name you Cindy Connector because you're always good at giving referrals, passing through people who need certain referrals." So that's where we're at all these years later, 2025. Now I'm going to be an author, and I have met this amazing woman of abundance on podcasters on Facebook. And definitely stay tuned. We have some great projects coming up. But today we're celebrating Social Media Day. So go ahead and talk a little bit about your brand, how you got it started. I'm going to pop off for about 1 minute. I'm going to share this onto some Facebook groups. I'll be right back. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, Social Media Day is just so much fun. I remember when I first heard about Social Media Day back in like 2013, I was so excited about it because I'm like, that's what we do every day on social media. And I'm going to tell you the way I built my platform for my podcast was basically doing exactly what you're saying about being a connector, making sure that we do the cross promotion and helping, each other to get theirs and getting those follows and all of that type of thing. But for Social Media Day, I think it's so much fun because especially if you've got Facebook, you've got LinkedIn, you've got Instagram, there are people on TikTok, you've got Kick, you've got all these things that you could be doing social media on. And for social media today, I decided that I was going to connect with 50 new ladies that I've never seen before. Like when you go to your Facebook page and you see all of the people that they say you should be connecting with because there's something that maybe you have in common. Well, I've already this morning reached out to 11 ladies, and out of the 11, 9 of them have sent me I am and just basically said, "Hey, great to connect here. What can we do to help one another?" And that is what I really love because thinking abundance is really awesome when you start connecting with people. So before the day ends, I will have connected with 50 ladies that I've never met before on Facebook today. Facebook is where I go. And if I'm going to connect with people, I connect. Instagram is where I go if I just want to see pictures, if I want to look at travel things, if I want to see, what's a new place I could travel to or food and all of those things that I could try. So I kind of pick and choose what social media I really love, but I think today I'm going to spend some time just connecting with some new people that I have never connected with before, just to see if we can help one another with anything.
Well, let's talk about how we met. So I'm going to do a
Yes.
big shout out to Mo Train. He is the founder of this amazing group. And look at this, 86,000 members. I think he started it like 15 years ago. It
Yeah.
was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
And you were looking for some guests,
Yep.
and it was myself and two other amazing women of abundance, which we need
Yes.
to get them back on my podcast. So we're all together.
Right.
And let's talk about your podcasts and how valuable that is. Is that geared towards women or entrepreneurs? What's the niche?
So we say that our podcast is for every woman on the planet because you're either a mother or you are a daughter. And our podcast is called Mother Daughter Ish. And I have my daughters on with me sometime, depending on the topics. Actually, me and my oldest daughter, we started it together during 2021 during COVID. And we were in the house and we just were like talking so much about things and having a great time. I said, we need to start a podcast. I did one back in 2013 to 2018. And it was so awesome. I loved that podcast. And I have to try to come back to figure out how to, monetize it and all of that. But our podcast is called Mother Daughter Ish. And we talk about everything that's geared toward women. So it could be business, it could be personal, it could be professional, it could be anything that's going to help women to move forward. When we first started the podcast, we produced our first book, and it was 100 ways that mothers and daughters could connect better. And our second book that I'm working on right now is going to kind of be a continuation of that. But, one thing that I noticed is that I have two girls. One's 24, one's 31. They are worlds apart. And then here I am over here, 52, and I'm a whole nother generation away from them. So the
Mhm.
conversations that we have are so different, and I take delight in that because I like to know what they're thinking and what they like and what they don't like and what lights them up and what dims their light. I want to know those things, but it's the same thing with women. So I have interviewed women from all around the globe. I mean, from the
Amazing.
US to the Middle East to Italy to, I mean, Poland. I have interviewed some amazing ladies, and you're right. I'm so excited that Motran put that website together, Facebook group, because whenever I'm looking for folks to interview, like I'll be looking today, whenever I'm looking for folks to interview, I always post over on those connector Facebook pages because you
Mhm.
never know when
Yeah.
the topic is going to be there. And my next topic for July is going to be very interested and all geared toward women. It's mid part of the year now, and we should be thinking about those things that we're going to do to elevate for 2026. So that's where my mind frame is right now. So I'm excited to be able to be a resource to other ladies that would love to be able to have an interview, to be able to even use that for a business opportunity where they can say, oh yeah, I've been on this show before.
Mhm. Exactly. And so there's going to be a lot of people watching a little bit later on the rebroadcast, but make sure that you go to Facebook. You can see Dawn Fobbs. You can look her up and connect with her.
Yes.
And so today I want to talk about some of the things that we can do to step out of the business box and
That,
think of other people's first. So you
that's right.
have some DMOs, daily method of operation. I know we talked about that on your podcast, how
You're right.
important the DMO is.
Right.
What are some of the things that you do to make a difference to somebody else's business?
A lot of the things that I do to make it important to other people's businesses, I make sure that I follow up. I make sure that, especially when I have friends that I know that are wanting to elevate and do things, I make sure I send them a little nice text that says, you know what, I don't care what you're going through today, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
And those are people that they're not paying me to do that. That's just when it pops up in my head. Hey, reach out to this person, reach out to that person, I'll do it. But I am also one of those people who will go to Facebook, even when it's not social media day, and connect with at least one person. At least one person. I might do that 3 times a week and just say, hey, I saw that you're on Facebook. You do this, this, or this. I
Mm-hmm.
like that you do that for other ladies. I love that your business supports whatever. Glad that we could connect here on Facebook. So it's the reaching out, it's the being consistent, but then it's also just the sending a nice message to people for no reason at all, just because it's a Monday, just because it's a Tuesday. So those are the type of things I like to do because I like when people do it for me. I don't get it a lot, but I get it enough to know that other people are thinking it's important, just like I think it's important.
Well, I want to do a shout out to my friend Casey Everhart. He's one of my mentors,
Hmm.
and he's also the forward of my book. And so he does an event a couple times a year, and I'll see if I could get you into the next one. It's
Okay.
called Networking Riches, and he does this exercise that, ironically, before I met him, I've done that exercise as well. And so he has us text as many people as we can for
That's right.
5 minutes. Yeah. So the last one, no, about a month and a half ago, I actually texted the most. I think I texted 49 people within a 5 minute period. And I do that anyways. My DMO, one of my favorite DMO, actually, the first thing I did this morning is I contacted the CEO of National Day Calendar and I sang happy birthday to her.
Oh,
Yeah, so just random Marilyn Monroe, happy birthday.
yep.
Normally, what I do, I like to send at least 5 to 10 texts or phone calls. Hi, this is Cindy. I want to let you know I'm thinking of you today. Thank you for adding so much value to my life. That
That's
type
right.
of thing. And not, are you ready to book a trip with me? Are you ready to
No, no,
send,
no.
cards and gifts to a client? No, this
That's
is just
right.
me. And some of the people, when I've done that, and I mean, I'm getting chills right now because I remember, about 3 months ago, I did that with one of my travel suppliers at the Mondrian in Miami. And I
Hmm.
said, hey, I'm just saying hi, see how you're doing. Nothing about business, just letting you know I think about you, I care about you, and thank you for being in my life. And he said, wow, I really needed that because I had a
See?
situation with my vehicle earlier today, and
Yep.
you actually have changed the whole trajectory of my day.
Exactly. That right there is why it's so important to not always be thinking, like even with the ladies in my travel group. I have a travel group called International Ladies of Purpose. We're all ladies 50 and better, and we love to see the world while we work on personal and professional development. But that's the one thing that I love about these ladies is that I can reach out to them one by one and text them and say, "Hey, I hope you're having a great day today." It's
So,
not about,
you know,
"I'll see you
so
at the next trip. Are you going to book the next trip and go
yeah.
with us?" It's not, will you be on the next Zoom call? Because we meet once a month on Zoom. It's nothing but, "Hey, I hope you have a fantastic day today." Or if they have a parent that's ill or something, "Hey,
Oh yeah.
I hope your mom or your dad is doing well. We look forward to hearing good news from you about, that," or just anything like, it's so important for us
Oh
to
yeah.
build relationships like that instead of always, "What can you do for me? Can you give me this? Can you hand me that?" It's better when we can build bigger and better relationships and connect just on a different playing field instead of always needing something monetarily or something from someone. But it's okay to give as well.
Exactly. And what's the name of that group again? I want to populate it on the show.
It's called International Ladies of Purpose.
Okay, of purpose.
And we have ladies from all over that are members of the group. And we have a retreat coming up for Arizona next month, and we're all excited about that. But I actually had 6 new ladies on our Zoom call last week that are interested in joining. So my goal is by December to grow the group to 25 ladies. And so that's
Oh,
what I'm
very nice.
working on right now. And we're having a really great time with one another because everybody's in a particular season in their life, and they're moving forward and they're elevating. And if we
Yes.
can do it all together, it's going to be better than trying to be on an island by yourself. Now, don't get me wrong, I like being on an island by myself,
Yeah.
but it's always great to do things together to help one another, to be able to have somebody you can call and say, "Hey, I was wondering about this. What do you think about it?" Or, "Hey, I'm thinking about writing a book I've been working on for 10 years. Any suggestions for me?" Well, anybody who knows me knows I've written 30 books, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so they're going to come to me and ask me, "How do you write your books in 3 days?" And I'm like, "I just have a method and a system." And I'm like, "I teach this system. I do this system. It's something that lights me up." When I first started writing books, nobody gave me the rules. I made my own rules up. And I've made my own rules up for every single thing I do in life now. And I love that.
That's awesome because my friend Vaughn, I want to connect you to him because he does the audio for books. So
Oh,
later
awesome.
on today, I'll send you a quick introduction. Is that private? Because I'm unable to find it on Facebook.
Instagram. We play on Instagram.
Oh, it's on Instagram.
Yeah, we play around over on Instagram. We have a Facebook page, but we haven't really done anything with it. I love social media, but I'm not excited about running 7 social media pages. It's because
No.
my goal is in the next 5 years, I won't be on social media at all. I'll be completely private. I will be completely in my own little cocoon. I'm going to move to the country and just kind of chill out and get away from whatever, but travel the globe and just mind my own business. So in 5 years, I'm sure I won't be on social media at all. So I thought, I'm not going to run 7 pages because that's just way too much with what I do as a business development coach and consultant. So, my life, I like keeping it very, very, very kind of low key, all about my business, less stress, around amazing people and things like that. So we've had an opportunity to go on a amazing list of trips. We've got so many things that are coming up. That class right there I just taught on Saturday. I teach, what I do in business is I teach individuals and businesses how to merge their talents with multi-million-dollar contracts. I've been contracting my services out as a speaker, a leadership development, career development coach and consultant since 1996. And so that's what I've done from home, is teach other people how to do the same thing. And I've been traveling for a long, long, long time. And I absolutely love it. I used to travel by myself, and now I have great women to be able to travel with. And I'm continuing to build all of that to have better connections.
Well, that's good because maybe we can do a collab on some of these upcoming trips for National Bucket List Day next
Yeah.
year. We our single day is going to be Catalina Island, and then we're on the Virgin Voyages cruise to Mexico.
Well, I hope I'm in the
Yeah,
loop on all of that because I love
yeah,
Catalina. I've been 3 times. I love it.
yeah, yeah. We'll get you that information later. And then in 2026, we're in Chicago. 2027, Jamaica, and no, actually next year's 2026. Yeah, so 2027 Chicago, and then 28 is Jamaica, and then 29 we're going all the way across the pond. The further out we can go, we're going to Nepal.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. Yeah, Nepal. I just added that to my bucket list about 2 weeks ago. So that's perfect. That's
You're
perfect.
good. Yeah. So we're going to do a short show today because as you know, I'm going to be hanging out with the Black Labrador on
Yeah,
TikTok today over at
that's
the
gonna be so much fun.
It is, it is, it is. So let's talk about some other tips on social media. So I'll give my tips. So if you have a small business, especially if you have a restaurant, do a call to action today
Yep.
using hashtag social media day. One of the things you can do is you can display one of your dishes. Also, if you have your clients go to Google and review you when they're at the restaurant and say,
That's right.
give them an appetizer of like, let's say pot stickers or egg rolls or whatever business you're in, give them some kind of appetizer or maybe a discount for next time coming in.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to talk about today for social media day?
I would say for social media day, look and see how many people you can reach out to say hi. And then what would be really fun is I just told a lady a few minutes ago, I said, what would really be fun is if we hopped on either FaceTime or if we hopped on, instant message or if we hopped on Zoom
Mhm.
and did kind of like a screenshot and put a date to it. Hey, I met this person on social media day 2025. It'd be kind of fun to do that or to look and see how many other people we could put a little quick something together. Like, I don't know if you know, but September 30th, I believe, is podcast day. So do you ever celebrate Podcast Day in September?
No, I don't think it's
That's
official through National Day calendar. It's probably something someone, came up
oh
with.
no,
Yeah, definitely. I would love
oh
to
no, it's
check
it's
it out.
it's official. It's International Podcast Day. It's been official since 2013.
Oh,
Yeah, it's been official
hmm.
since 2013. But
Do you know who
anyway,
founded that?
no, because it's been so long that we've been celebrating it. What we usually do on International Podcast Day is I pull in about 10 people from different countries, and then we
Mhm.
just do a live show. We just do a live show and have fun. Um, but what I was going to say is a really good tip today for Social Media Day would be to, like you just said, review as many things and as many people and as many restaurants or as many businesses that you could today on social media. Kind of give yourself like a little challenge and see how many
Mhm.
people you could uplift or how many people you could elevate through giving them some, positive accolades. And I will also say for those individuals who are thinking about starting a podcast, today would be an amazing day to kind of introduce maybe your new podcast on social media, especially using some of the different Facebook groups and things like that. So that could be an opportunity, because the one thing you want to think about when you do a podcast is how you can tap yourself into something that's already national or international or already going on. And then
Mhm.
that will be an anniversary that you will never forget. Like on my birthday, I always do something I've never done before. Like this year, it's in September. I'm going to Morocco for a month. I've never been to Africa. I've
Yeah.
never been to Morocco. I'm going to
Mhm.
stay a month and just have a great time. So, for those who are thinking about starting their podcast, what a great way to start it on social media day, because that's where a lot of people spend time at, listening and finding out about podcasts. I mean, again, when I want to interview guests, I make it easy. I put a little flyer together, I post it on social media sites, and those who are interested will, DM me and let me know that they would like to
Mhm.
be on the
Yeah.
show and schedule it from there. Like I met you, Cindy. So, I'm so glad that you took the opportunity to come. I love what you're doing about, the different holidays and things like that. It's so exciting to me. I'm such a nerd about it. And I just
Yeah.
really like that you're doing that, and that's a focus, because a lot of people don't know about, literally there's a holiday for
I
everything.
didn't even know about International Podcast Day, and I've been an ambassador with National Day calendar for over 5 years.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we've been
That's
celebrating. I know when I first started
crazy.
podcasting in 2013, that's when I found out about it, because I was at Podcast Movement and they were talking about it and they were saying, hey, let's do a collab together. And I was like, what are they talking about? So I go back home, I'm looking it up. But there's a lot of holidays we don't know. Like I drive a Mini Cooper. I bought it in 2011, and then I have an
Mhm.
old school one as well. I didn't know that we had a International Mini Cooper Day until I was already 10 years in, and nobody told me that it was, drive,
What?
like we had a National Drive Your Mini Cooper Day and to do a video while you're in the car. And so I tapped into that immediately and started doing that every single year. So there's just a lot of different holidays that, that have been there, that there's so many, I think, that we don't know them all. So that's why
Yeah,
sometimes I
because some
go
are
and just
official, some are unofficial. Yeah, the Mini Cooper Day isn't on
exactly.
National Day calendar, but a lot of times organizations will start their own national holiday. So yeah,
Yeah. So,
that's
but I love
amazing.
I love any kind of little holiday that, like I see like National Pizza Day and National Brownie Day and National this day and Spaghetti Day, and I'm just like,
Mhm.
oh, that's kind of fun, because if you kind of uh put your life in a area of I'm going to celebrate at least 2 holidays a week. It's kind of fun. It brings a little different little element into it. And then to introduce it to other people, and then they start doing fun things. But there's literally holiday every single day for something somewhere created by someone.
I don't think there's National Colonoscopy Day though.
Well,
I'd have to look. I
maybe
know there's like
not,
colon
but
awareness. Yeah.
maybe not, but maybe there should be, just for
Hmm.
preventative, just for preventative. But yeah, I love that you have your bucket list day, because that's one thing. I teach a class about how to travel on a budget, and every single time I go to class, and
Hmm.
I'm teaching 60 to 90 people, before they leave that class, I have them at least have 5 things on their started bucket list, because my bucket list is in a binder, and I'm loving marking off the list in red, marking off, oh, I've been there, I did that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited about that. So I love that you have the bucket list, because I do meet people, like 2 new people that just joined my travel group. They were like, I never thought about that. I don't have a bucket list. I don't even know. Tell me what that's all about. And I explain it to them, and they're like, oh, I don't even know where I want to go. I'm like, well, when you join this group, you have to give me 5 places in the US you want to go, 5
Hmm.
places international you want to go. We literally put it in a bucket. And then when we get ready to choose our trips for the year, we literally dig in the bucket, and your trip could be chosen. So we make that fun to be able to do, because the only trips that I curate on my own to say, here's where we're going, and they come along, is going to be the retreats that we do annually. So we know where we're going throughout 2029. And that's pretty exciting to know those things in advance, much like what you have with what you're doing through
Hmm.
2028. It's really awesome. I love anybody who can plan in advance, because it makes everybody else's life easy.
Yes, and I want to be a part of that group. And also, I have an upcoming ebook. I don't have a book yet
Okay.
for my my bucket list.
Okay.
That's called "Pursuing Your Bucket List." So,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, anybody who subscribes to Don's YouTube page and my YouTube page, you're going to get a copy of "Pursuing Your Bucket List."
Woohoo!
It
That's
comes out later in
awesome.
the summer. Yeah, and I'd
That's
like to add you
awesome.
on there as well as a list of resources for for people to be a part of.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
That'll be really, really great. I think that the thing that makes the difference is that we're having fun with what we're doing. We're having fun
Mhm.
with, you're having fun with the national holidays. I am as well. We're having fun with our podcast. We're connecting with other podcasters that are having fun. And I don't see where there's any stopping that, because we're all doing what we love to do. And so I'm looking forward to connect with even more podcasters and building something bigger and better for everyone involved.
So, in closing, we're going to do a couple things. We're going to do some shout outs.
Okay.
And let's start with that first. Who would you like to shout out today?
I would actually like to shout out to every person who's getting ready to start their podcast. I would like to offer my encouragement and pass a little bit of my enthusiasm on to those individuals, to tell them, you know what, at least get the one show going. If you can't get the one show going, at least get 5 or 6 shows in the bucket, where you don't have to pressure yourself to make sure you go on every Tuesday at 2 or every other day or whatever. So I'd like to shout out to them. But then secondly, I'd like to shout out to my girls that have been a very intricate part of helping me with the podcast, and just following instructions to make sure we get things done the way it needs to do. This was all so new to them. They didn't know anything about it. They didn't know anything about monetizing it. They didn't know anything about anything. But it was like, okay, we know how to talk, we know how to show up, and that's important. So thank you also to those folks who show up. Like Cindy, you showed up for me on my podcast when I interviewed you, and I'm so appreciative of that, because there can be times where you set a show together and people don't show up. So thank you for showing up.
Oh, really? Then they're not going to come back on your show if they don't
Oh,
show up.
no, 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 no. I never reach out to them again if they do that, because it just takes like 2 seconds to say, I'm not going to make it today. And then I have somebody that I can have step in. But if I'm sitting here waiting for you and you just don't show up, and we've verified the times, we've verified the dates, we've verified everything, that I can't respect. Because I'm going to make sure I show up for people. I'm even going to do one step further, and I'm going to show up early.
Yeah, because in my book, I actually talk about the steps to being a host and the
Exactly.
steps to being a guest. And one of the steps
Exactly.
as a guest, so those who've come on my podcast who talk the whole time and don't even let me ask questions, they will no longer be on the podcast,
Yeah.
because otherwise they could have their own podcast. But I
Oh,
like what you do, and this is what I talk about in the book. When the host asks you the question, you pause
Yeah,
So then when you pause, that was a cue for me to ask the next question. So, I mean,
exactly.
because you know that because you do that as well. So,
Exactly. And you know what?
yeah.
Teaching people those interview skills is important. See, I've been a professional paid speaker on large stages since 1996. So the art, the art of that pause is so important because you can engage anybody. If it's one person or it's 5,000 people in a room, you have to take some time to breathe. You have to take some time to pause so that you can get a little something in the room. You can
Mhm.
capture that interest because they're waiting to see what's the next thing she's going to say, what's the next thing she's going to do in interviewing, what's the next thing she's going to ask me. Because if you noticed when you came on my show, I didn't give you pre-questions. And I'll tell you,
Yeah.
and I'll tell you why I don't do that. I want to be just as excited and just as surprised by your answers because I'm never going to ask you anything you don't already have the answer to. We're
Mhm.
just introducing it to an audience of people who didn't know that about you. But if I'm talking to you about the thing that you came to me to say you're ready to talk about, there's no surprises. I'm only going to keep it in the vein of that. So when I hear things for the first time, I'm just as excited and just as new eared to it as that. Now, if I'm talking about a specialty topic and there has to be some kind of questions because somebody doesn't know something, I probably won't have them on the show because like if you I don't care what you ask me right now, I off the cuff I could give you an answer from
Mhm.
my opinion, from my thought process, or even from my experience. I don't care what it is. I'm going to
Exactly.
give you an educated guess or some kind of answer or say, you know what, I don't know the answer to that, but I know so and so who does. So I'm that kind of thinker, but not everybody is kind of an off the cuff quick thinker. But I've been on stages where a speaker didn't show up and I was asked,
Oh, wow.
can you go
Yeah.
ahead and talk about this thing? And I'm like, sure. And I had to make it up on the spot. Didn't even get a chance to write anything out and study it like I normally would. Just had to make it up off the cuff. So I've been put in those situations enough that I'm very comfortable with it.
That's good. All right, last question. What is the one thing that you will do? Well, I won't answer the phone. The one thing you'll do in your community this week to pay it forward to a random person, random
That
stranger.
that's an awesome question because I've already set it up this morning with two ladies. I had a couple of ladies reach out to me and say, "Hey, they missed my class on Saturday. Would I be willing to give them a 15-minute discovery call today?" And I
Mhm.
said, "Yes, no cost because my discovery calls are usually about 45 minutes. It's $300." And I said, "Absolutely, I'll do that." Now, these are two strangers that I don't know. These are people who found me on Facebook and hit me and said, "Hey, would you be willing to do that?" I sent them a voice message on Facebook and said, absolutely, let me know what time will work for you today. Here are the time frames that I have. And so that's something that I'm doing today with two individuals on Facebook that I've never met before today, but it was just me randomly reaching out and just saying something. They went to my Facebook page, looked at that flyer
Mhm.
that I had posted up
Yeah.
there and said, "Hey, I need to know more about that. I want to know how to get grants for my business. I want to know how to have contracts in my business because I've been wondering about this and nobody's really teaching it. Who's actually doing it? They're teaching it, but they're not the people who are actually earning the money doing it." So that's my act of kindness for today. And I'm sure I'll be doing more this week, but just for a Monday morning, I think that's pretty good.
That's awesome. Well,
Yes,
I'm going to treat somebody this week to a meal, or depending on where I'm at. I always like to say hello and compliment people.
yes,
So I'll let you know if there's any feedback on that.
that's awesome.
Okay. In closing, what is the number one tip on getting grants for business?
The number one tip on getting grants for business is making sure you know where the money is going to be allocated to. I'll have people that come to me and say, "Hey, can you write me a grant?" And I'll say, "Okay, do you have all your documents together?" Let's just say they do. Most of the time they don't. If they have everything together, I go, "Okay, what are we getting the money for?" And they'll say, "Oh, because we just need money." No, 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 no. Grants are for programs, services, outreach, and education. In that four lanes, which lane are we getting money for? What's the budget for it? Because if you need $20,000, but Walmart's only giving 5,000, obviously we need to tap into at least six or seven other sources to get you to the $20,000. So know where the money's going to be allocated for before you ask anybody to write a grant for you, and have all your documents and paperwork together behind the scenes so that they don't have to clean you up, which could cost you, $2,000 for somebody to clean you up. I had a lady come to me. She's got all these different things she wants to do. Nobody's ever helped her in 5 years since she got the 501c3. She comes to me, everything's horrible, paperwork horrible. I had to literally almost start from scratch helping her. Her 501c3 wasn't up to date. We had to get that back in good standing. It was just a hot mess. It cost her a lot of money for me to go in and do that, when if they had been making sure everything was up to date on an annual basis, it wouldn't have been that kind of issue. So, grants are for anyone who qualifies. And so you can either have a 501c3, or you could be a for-profit business that goes after grants that are for profit. The only thing is, just know for-profit grants are very, very super competitive. For example, if there's a grant out there for a woman-owned business, you may be going up against 50,000 women.
Oh, wow.
Whereas grants for nonprofit, they're going to go to a certain group of people who offer a certain group of thing to a certain group of folks. So it's more honed down. They have more money in the pot. So, if that grant for profit, they only have 250,000 to give, but 50,000 people are going after it, you're not even going to get any money hardly. Wow. Whereas for nonprofits, they may say, we're giving $50,000 per organization, and we're going to give this to 200 organizations. So it's a little different. So if you have your things together and you have your budget together and know where the money's going to be allocated, that's a good start.
Great.
It's a good start.
Okay, so before we go in the green room, I'm going to do this video right here. So this is going to go on TikTok.
Okay.
So let's talk again on tips for hashtag social media day. Go ahead.
Tips on hashtag for social media day is to reach out to at least one person you don't know on TikTok that you're already following, and have something kind to say to them.
Social media day, use hashtag social media day. If you are a restaurant, because these are some of the things I do. I like to do restaurant reviews, and I coach some restaurants on different things to do. Number one, create a sign that you can put on your table for when people review right on the spot, then they'll get a small appetizer or a discount on the upcoming. And also use hashtag social media day as a way to be social with other entrepreneurs. Anything else, we'll close out.
That is so awesome. I love that. And you know what? Also, it'll be great that on that same flyer that they have for the free appetizer, if they had maybe their QR code there where they could tag them in the video that they've put up, so that they can also have it on their website. Because it's great to be able to have on your social media site, let's just say 10 people came in today and did a review for you to be able to put up there, them going, this is so good. Oh my gosh, I love this place. The food is so good. Here's my plate that I had. Things like that. Because I love reviewing social restaurants to tell people how good something is, or how delicious the lavender lemonade is, or whatever. I love it. I just did on Saturday, we just put a show up about Insomnia Cookies, which was up in Huntsville, Texas, that I found. And what I love about them is 24 hours a day you can get your cookies warm, and they deliver even at 3:00 in the morning. I said, the people with the cravings in the morning, like let's just say the pregnant ladies or whatever, that's like a dream to them, to get a warm cookie in the middle of the night or whatever. So I just did a review on them. So I love restaurants and dessert places and specialty type, mom pop. When I'm traveling, we always eat with the locals. We never go to the fancy restaurant. We eat with the locals, and we love to review them all over the world.
That's awesome. So I want to do a shout out real quick before we close out.
Okay.
To Yama Teriyaki. They're located on Beach Boulevard here in beautiful Huntington Beach. And I actually made some cards for her table. I think like 8 tables with a QR code that goes to Google. So if you are here in Huntington Beach, or you live anywhere near Orange County, make a trip to Huntington Beach at Yama's Teriyaki. There's a little QR code at your table. Take a picture of that, review, and you're going to get your appetizer. So awesome. We are heading out. I'm going to put you in the green room.
All right.
Okay, just hang tight for 1 minute. All right, guys, make sure you go to the show notes and connect with this amazing woman of abundance, and enjoy hashtag social media day. In just 1 second, we have warm cookies, my friend Robert Briner. All right. And hope everyone has an amazing day and you're out there making a difference. This is Cindy at Ask Cindy Connector Live. Make sure you check out Growing Your Business Through Referrals, and we'll see you on the other side.